Just like Manolo and Moji have sung, by some miracle, by testimony, you get into an interview room. After asking or begging for a job for a long time, you've written a nice CV and you get yourself into the interview room. Now, Joanne, you've gotten there. What are the first things you need to know in terms of maybe like dressing and preparation? What are some of the things one can do to prepare themselves adequately for an interview?
All right, so you always need to remember the 3 C's that are important when you're going for an interview: content, confidence, and conduct. Of course, like confidence, you need to be bold during the interview, because how you carry yourself, it goes a long way. So your confidence goes a long way. Content, what you're going to say when they ask you the interview questions, and conduct, how like the nonverbal cues. So content, you need to be able to prepare well in advance. So you need to prepare to answer some frequently asked interview questions. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? So maybe I can ask you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I was going to do the role play the other way. Right?
Yeah.
About myself, I'm a radio presenter, a broadcaster. I'm a lawyer by training who's passionate about entertainment and media. Father of none that I know of. Married to no one. Is that the right way?
So actually, when you go for an interview, so you've started off very well.
Okay.
But you shouldn't say anything personal. So don't talk about your family. Don't say you're married with children or not, because maybe they want someone who is single. And they cannot say that.
Me.
So if you say you're married with children, of course it's an ex. Then, or maybe they want someone who is married with children, because it shows stability and all that. So if you say you're not, then already they stereotype you. So there's something in an interview called interview bias. All interviewers, there's a certain kind of bias they have, and it normally affects how they rate candidates. Like stereotyping, or like the halo effect, and you need to be aware of their bias and ensure that you, as much as possible, make your answers professional, so that then you're not discriminated because of one thing or the other. So you've started off well, but do not mention anything personal. So they don't want to know about your, if you're married with children, where you grew up, where you went to nursery school, if you like eating pilau. No.
Either you're single or not.
You know what this sounds like? This sounds like an interview at the American embassy. Like whatever you ask for is what you say. Don't bring information that they've not asked for.
So when they're asking, tell us a little bit about yourself. What they're asking is, who are you in relation to the job that you're applying for? And I know how it sounds when someone asks you,
tell me about yourself.
Yeah, it's like you want to know
my hobbies,
exactly
why I support Manchester United.
My fancy. Exactly. No.
Oh, that's different. Yeah. So confidence, I see, getting in the room, straight face on, don't look down.
Yeah, right.
Address questions as you're being talked to.
Right.
What else does that come into play? And how do guys misbehave in an interview room?
So as far as like no confidence is concerned, not maintaining eye contact, or speaking with like
gestures, like
or I come to the interview room and then I'm like, my name is Joanne,
and you swing on your seat and everything.
Yeah. Or just like not like showing some like a level of seriousness. Even the way you dress.
How should we dress?
So it depends on the interview. If it's like like if it's an engineering job, there are certain jobs that like you could go dressed smart casual. There are certain jobs that you need to go like fully dressed up.
Yeah.
So you want to do your research to ensure that you've dressed appropriately. You don't want to go into the interview room and then again that bias, you come in and already guys have shut down, because then it disadvantages you in the interview. The other thing now is the content. That is most important, more than what you've dressed and all that. And how you have good content is if you adequately prepare for the interview. So you need to prepare to answer like what have been some of your key achievements. I've seen people who are very good at what they do, but then you ask them about key achievements they don't know, or they are not able to present it in a way that the other person can understand. So you want to prepare answering what have been some of your key achievements, what are some of your strengths. Walk me through a time when you came up with a solution that saved the organization money. Tell me of a time when you introduced new processes into the organization. Tell me of a sales strategy that you made, and that made you like maybe a top salesperson. Tell me of a marketing strategy that you came up with. So you need to be able to answer questions using practical examples. How your answers get a lot of meat is if you're able to back them up with examples. I know sometimes there are people who go into the organization, and there's this thing called like this phenomenon that has come recently called quiet quitting. So you are at work, but you are really not working. Yeah. So there are people who've been quiet quitting. They've been quiet quitting for like many years. So they really don't have achievements, because you see, like they've just been doing bare minimum at work. So when asked what is your key achievement, you do not have anything
to write home about.
And that is why it's always important. You always give like 100% to your job. You'd rather quit as opposed to like being on autopilot, because then when you go for an interview and you ask, tell me about your key achievement, tell me about like the greatest accomplishment in your previous role, you might not have anything to say, because there is nothing to say.
Joanne, there's something called a humble brag, right?
Right.
When someone asks you, tell us about your weaknesses, and they tell them, my weakness that I work too hard. I overcommit to a project. And I will not stop until even people tell me to quit, I will not quit.
Team player.
I'm a team. And the thing is, I want to involve everyone. Even the person who feels like he has no skills, I want to involve everyone. That's my weakness. As if someone asks you, what are your weaknesses? What should you say?
So you need to give an honest weakness, because the reason why we ask that question is I want to see whether this person is emotionally intelligent. An emotionally intelligent person is self-aware. So let me ask you, what are some? Tell me one of your weakness.
Chipo, it's an interview for you, baby.
I don't know how this table
Don't play music, please. Don't play music. Tell me a weakness.
One of my weaknesses is that I overcommit to.
That's a humble brag.
It is a humble brag. One of my weaknesses is
an honest one.
I underestimate how long it takes me to get ready in the morning. I always underestimate how long, or to something. So I know I'm going to factor in traffic and everything. And so if I need to be somewhere at 8, I probably get there at like 8:15. And not because I didn't wake up on time, I took too long to get ready. Is that like... Does that qualify?
Okay, so...
And you see now, how am I going to tell my employer? The one I see their time.
Utachelewa.
And so I'm trying to say is, I have a problem with choice in the morning, with choosing shirts.
Yeah. So when we ask this question, I would want a weakness that would show me you have sat down and thought about the areas of development that you have, because that would tell me that you're someone who, if you're corrected about a certain area that you're lagging behind, you will not have any problem working on it. That's the reason why we ask this question. So like now, for example, I know one of my weaknesses is I'm afraid of crowds, and I know it doesn't look like it.
Doesn't
I struggle.
At all.
I struggle being in a room full of people. So this is a weakness that I know that I have. So what do I do to ensure that this weakness does not stand in the way of me performing my work effectively? I put myself in situations where I need to be in a room full of people, and I practice it over and over again, and it's a fear that I've slowly come to overcome. So that then if I'm hired in this organization and I'm required to go to these meetings that have so many people, my boss already would have known this.
Joanne, is not like a cute weakness.
No, it's not.
I feel like it's one of those.
It's not humble brag.
I can imagine happening in my crowds. I feel like that's what a weakness.
It's kind of a weakness and a strong point also.
And a strength. But yeah, so the reason why we ask this question is we want to see how self-aware you are. Someone who is self-aware is someone who is emotionally intelligent, and that would make this person a good hire. But when you're saying your weakness, you do not want to say a weakness that is going to be you shooting yourself in the foot. So like now, for example, if I'm hiring for an administrative position, you can't say you are not someone who is organized, even if that's one of your weaknesses.
Yes, for sure.
96.9 FM, Pearl Radio.